Welcome into the Metabolic Reset. I am so excited to have you join our community. This is a great place because it's going to be an opportunity for us to work one-on-one to make sure that we help you achieve your goals. So to start, we've already had a conversation about what you want to achieve, but here's what I want to know. I want to make sure that we are clear and specific on what you want to achieve because that allows me to help you even more. We have our check-in forms that will happen every Tuesday and Thursday morning. We want to make sure that we're checked in and figuring out and following and tracking progress over time, both with what we're doing on the scale in our in-bodies, but also in what we're doing in terms of our schmecks. And that's a term that I threw out the other day, and I want to make sure that we're clear on what that is. That's our sleep, hydration, mood, energy, cravings, and stress. The schmecks allow us to understand where you're at and how you're feeling in a way that is different than the scale. The scale can be different and wonky, and we don't want to get tied to that. And the in-body can tell us where we're at physically, but we want to understand how we're feeling, how we're doing, and how those intangible things are kind of coming together for us. So that's what that would look like. But before we get into that, you have to know this. I think having a purpose and having clarity in what you're doing is the single most important thing for us to have. Because if we start this thing and you're like, hey, I really want to lose some weight and I want to feel better and all that kind of stuff, that's really great, but it's not enough to going to keep you from going, hey, look, at some point you're going to get distracted. At some point, you're going to be like, hey, you know what? There's a party going on this weekend. I really want to do that. You have to balance the question of how hard and how fast do I want to go with this? How much of the habits I want to build and instill in my life? Because we're going to get you a result if you stick with this. But we also know pace depends on you. So if you're like, I want to hammer down on this thing and lock in on these tasks, then great, we can do that. If it's something that we're going to build in and slowly taper in because of lifestyle, then we'll do that as well. But I want you to know that this depends on you. The speed and pace depends on you because these aren't my goals, they're your goals. These aren't my targets, they're yours. So we need to understand clearly what it is that you want to accomplish. I believe there is nothing more powerful than the human heart on fire and on passion and ready to achieve goals. So I want to help you to make sure we are clear. So what you'll do is I'm sending you our starting point, our start with why sheet. A couple things on this. What you'll find at the top is obviously it has your name, information on there. I want you to write this down. This is for you, not for me, but I would like you to send it to me so I have an understanding. But the clarity, the goals, the things that you're writing down, I want you to write. I want you to understand it like so deep. Because around our goals, what I want to know is what are the things that you want to achieve? I want to move better. I want to feel better. I want to live better. I want to drop a certain amount of weight. I want to get to a certain amount of body fat. I want to achieve this kind of look. Whatever it is, I want you to understand what that is. And I want you to have a clear picture of what that looks like. But then I want you to understand why. Because just looking good on the beach or just feeling good isn't going to be enough because you may achieve that. And then what? Do you have enough willpower, enough strength to sustain it? Do you have a purpose or something that's driving you forward that will allow you to keep it? I want you to understand your why, your purpose. What's the burn, the thing, the fire that's keeping you going on the inside to ignite your passion, to help you to keep moving forward? I want to make sure you are very clear on this. And I want you to write it every single week when we do our form and our sheet, our check-in. I want you to make sure that you write that and keep it on the forefront of your mind because we lose track, we get distracted often when we don't keep things in front of us. So we want to know what your goal is, what's your purpose, and then what are the daily habits and actions that we're going to build. So this is something we will continue to work on, but I will tell you, the first thing that we're going to work on for every client that I have is making sure, number one, we consume enough protein. That is a massive priority in the metabolic reset because we want to make sure that our metabolism is working for us, not against us. We want to make sure that we are set up for success, and eating enough protein is going to allow us to build our lean muscle tissue and to have longevity and life. I have a video that I'm sending along with this to talk about protein and the why behind that more specifically. The rest of it is we want to build good habits into life. Are we consuming enough water? So our hydration. What's our sleep like? That's part of our schmeck, sleep and hydration. What are we doing? How are our workouts? How many days a week are we going to work out? Are we walking every single day? Are we getting our 10,000 steps? What are the habits that we're building? This is something that if you have clarity on right now, great. If not, we will build these things out for you and prioritize the important. So, I want you to think through what that looks like for you at this point. Next, we're going to look at start and stop. What is one thing right now? There is one thing that you know you need to either start doing or one thing that you need to stop doing. Okay? I want you to think about what's the one thing that you've been thinking about going, God, I really need to start that. Or what's that thing you're like, really need to stop doing that. I want you to think about that and write that thing down, because that's the easiest thing that we can start with, is either starting or eliminating one habit. And then last, what to do when you get off track. What are you going to do when you get off track? Because look, you're not going to have a perfect day every day. We know that. I know that. My goal for you is to send me a message, to message me in Voxer, to tell me what's going on as fast as possible. The more communication we have, the better off we're going to be. So I want to make sure that you understand that. That's why you have the Voxer line, so you can contact me, ask me questions, and we can go through things in real time. Again, if I'm at a baseball game or I'm on the floor coaching, I may not get back as soon as possible, but I will promise you that I will get back to you as soon as I can. Make sure that you ask the questions, that you come to me with anything that you have with issues, and I will get back to you on that ASAP, because I want you to succeed. Spectacular achievement is always preceded by unspectacular preparation. What you're doing right now, the small things, the small steps, the habits, will build over time. There's an old phrase that says, first we build our habits, then our habits build us. You are where you are today as a series of things that you have built and put into place in your life. Some of it's good, some of it might not be good. But here's what I want you to know. You're not going to trip on anything that's behind you. Whatever's behind is gone. We are focusing on what we're building for the future. So I'm excited to go on this journey for you. I want to make sure, get your weekly calls booked and scheduled. Preferably get them scheduled in advance so you know when they are and we can have that time. I want to make sure that you use this program to its fullest potential, because I know the people that have done that have seen tremendous results, and I'm super excited to help you to achieve your results. So, thanks for being a part of the Metabolic Reset. I look forward to working with you, and let's go be great today.